This is still up. I haven't glued it down, but like I said, you can choose to do something different, but this is what I've done. And oh, I decided, I measured my other one, and it was about, from here to here was about 2 inches. I decided to make it 1.5 inches, and measure from this corner here. This is just so I can get a kind of a little bit straight, and then I just marked it so I know where to start. And I took my my piece here. I'm going to do total of 3, but I'm taking 2 off right now. And I usually like to I try to remember to cut it so that this stays long, because I could use this in another project later. So if I cut it in little pieces, it's harder to use. This would be great just to hang as a dangle or whatever you want. Okay, so here I have these 2. Let's see. And so I'm just going to clean up so that it has a finished look. I'm not sure how much of it's going to show. And start with the tip right where I want it to be there. And then I'm bringing the other tip this way. And you can put more glue on there later. For right now, I'm just going to do it that way. And I'm going to do more on this side. I'm doing the same thing over here. Okay, so now here, still lifting that up because I don't want to glue on top of it. Now you know, when you attach these, you can also attach them underneath. You don't have to put them on top. There we go. So I'm just gonna, I'm gonna attach it also the same way. So this would look really cute to just gather it up right here, like this, and just leave it like that. And just look how cute that looks. So all of this is all up to you what you do, but I know I wanted to add flowers to it, so that's what I'm doing. Because I recently purchased a bunch of flowers, and that's what's on my mind. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to attach this down in a few places. Usually when I do my kits, I will usually create a design. I'll provide you with everything you need to make it, how I made it. And then I'll try and give you a tutorial so that you can actually make it for, it's for different types of people. Some people need a tutorial, some don't. And if you don't need a tutorial, you want to just go with it any way you want. But I do enjoy when you share them with me. I enjoy seeing what you created, that I inspired you to create from my designs. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm pulling it and I'm just attaching as much as I desire on the back. You don't need to attach it all. In fact, I don't waste anything. Even these little dots can make different things. See those little pieces. I'm frugal that way. See, I've taken out a few flowers, some more of the little embellishments that I have in this kit. I took apart these were all stuck together, and I took them apart. And what I also did was that you're going to see that I also took some of this and I even cut it even smaller. I separated this flower from that flower. But when you do that, you do need to be careful, because sometimes the leaves also, you need to put a little glue in the back and put a glue here when you're going to do that. You'll see I've done that already to several of them. And then the other thing about these is that you will find that every other one is a mirror image. So you'll have mirror images, which are kind of nice to work with also. And I decided I was going to place one here and one there. And then I think I decided I'm going to place this little ones. As you can see, I just took a piece off, maybe here, just to give it a little. I don't fill every spot up. I kind of take spots and kind of make them, you know, stand out. And then all of these here, I took them apart and I'm actually placing them strategically. One of the things I'm doing down here is I'm placing them to cover most of, you know, this lace. Just place them. Doesn't mean I can't still place something on top of it, but I like to have a base. And so here I decided I wanted a little bit more along here because this is a beautiful applique also. It's just different, but they're all creamy. I don't make all the decisions at once. A lot of times I'll put it together and then I don't try not to go too far here because I know I'm going to place flowers here. So right now I'm going to go ahead and glue all those things down that I have so far. And the ones I haven't decided, I'm going to put them aside. Okay, I've glued all the things that I had placed on there down, and look how gorgeous that looks. And this, depending on if you want to leave it like this, it's just gorgeous like this, just creamy white and beautiful. There's more appliques. You can, you know, make it all flat just like you see it here. But I decided when I made mine that I wanted to put flowers on it. Let me show you that. You can see these are the flowers I put on it. I actually maneuvered these flowers around like 3 times because I wasn't happy with them. And I think one of the things that made me not happy with them was that I think I put too much. So I'm going to actually go a little bit less. But at the same time, you can go more or less. You can do it the way you want. One of the main flowers I used was this flower and then 2 smaller roses. Now these roses just look gorgeous. They look very real. So I wanted this to be my highlight. That's why I chose it. But at the same time, when I'm putting it on here, I want to place the main flower here on the wood, but I don't want it to cover up the look of a butterfly. So I kind of decided I was going to place it more straight up and down. And then I placed 2 other flowers this way. And I'm going to try, and you can see how gorgeous that looks, just like that. All you need if that's what you want. These are some of the other flowers you're going to get in your kit. Now this one right here, I used 2 of these, and sometimes using varieties of flowers will give you a little bit more texture and it brings the beauty out of the flower when you put them together. And I actually am self-taught, so there may be other people who design with flowers more, and they might be able to tell you a lot more than I can, but this is really how I've just learned myself. I usually start with leaves first. I'm going to do away with the big flower because I really thought I have too much, and this like is the biggest one. So I decided to get rid of the biggest flower. So you'll get 2 like this. And now we have a base, a beautiful base there. Okay, you'll also find a flower like this in the batch. And I love this rose. I like that it may have the plastic on it, but then it has this beautiful satin type on it. But I am going to actually take this one apart and use it because I didn't have a lot of these, but I did like the color, how it brought the colors together. So what I decided to do is I decided I was going to take it apart, and I'm going to, you're like, ow, don't take her apart. But I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I did with her. Because sometimes you have one flower and you can actually do something grand with it. Okay, so what I do with these is that you can take this and actually just leave it folded like this. And look how pretty that looks. You can do it different ways. I'll take it like this and I'll twist, like put a little glue and then twist the bottom. And what these are to me are a way of using fillers and adding beautiful color to what I'm doing. Oh, so might be something I add later. Okay. So let's go to these now. I'm going to start adding and putting less. Okay, so I'm going to put this all together and I'm going to fast forward this and let you see what I do. And you'll see that I'll change my mind, I'll move things around, I'll make decisions of things because I don't want it to be too long here. Maybe first screen where we put on, I decided I was going to place this down underneath. I opened up the leaves and I'm spreading it. I'm actually leaving it all open. I'm not doing a good job, am I? Okay, there we go. All right, and so I'm going to place it under here. And then this gives me, look how it looks. It gives you a lot of pink. See, there's more pink here. And these can all be pulled out if you want it to show more, like that pink area. It can be glued in so that it will be more shaped the way you might want it. So I want this to almost look like a bow or a butterfly, so pulling it in would be good. And I've lightened that amount of flowers that I have in there quite a bit. So you can see how beautiful that is just, and it kind of completes it. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put a little glue there and make sure it stays there like that. There you go. That's what I did there. Put some glue too. Okay. And then I decided to place these flowers over on this side, like right here, just in the center. So I took and I arranged 3 together, 2 white and the pink a little higher. And I attach them together, but not so tight that I can't maneuver the flowers. So then down here, this is going to be how everything is attached. So I make it into a circle, place a little glue, and glue will probably be going on top of this again. So now I'm looking and I'm going to try and make it very close to how far this pink one is to that pink side, because I'm trying to make it a little symmetrical. Okay, so you can kind of see the wire under there, but it's attached there. And I can come later on and glue these down, but in the meantime I want it to have the ability to move them around until I decide. And then this one, it's up there, so that's going to go there. So flower placement, you can kind of duplicate what I'm doing, or you can do your own. You can put less, you can put more, but as you can see, I do my things in stages, and I need this big one. I do everything in stages, and a lot of times I leave and come back. So for something like when they're wired, you can put them on, and then the wire allows you to move them around if you change your mind. So there's one similar on that side. And then now this should be dry. I can lift these up a little more if I want them up a little more. See? Or I can put them down if I want them more flat. And right here, you see I put the same thing with this one. I put a trio of pink only. So I do have 5 pink and 5 whites in the mix. So right here now we've used 4. And I could use this one somewhere if I want, or I can save it for another project. But I also softened here with this one. So can you see the difference? I added this softness kind of like near the flowers, and you can move these around because I just did it the same way and open them up, make them cover or not cover what you want. Okay, so now I'm going to try and figure out, I think I placed them right in here underneath. This is the greenery I added. Yeah, it's where I put it. Okay. I'm lifting up that greenery, placing that in there. Then these are those petals, the tulip petals that I spread out a little. I'm lifting some of those up. I know there's another one. There's supposed to be 4 of them, so I kind of want some of them to show a little bit. Lifting it up. And you can decide to lift them up, put them down as the base underneath. You can see that. Okay, so pretty much I'm about done here. And now again from here you can add more or less. Watch that. Glue. Now after you arrange it the way you like it, this one I decided I'm going to arrange it, put it right underneath that leaf. That way I can let it stick up a little. See? After you arrange everything, then you can go back and make sure everything is nice and snug down. And more glue if you think you need it. Now don't overdo the glue. You do not want to be able to see the glue. So usually I will just tug. Okay, now I basically am about done. These are very similar on each side. You need to go through and make sure it's glued down as well as you want it. And now I'm going to just go around and do some finishing touches on things. You still have this lace, which we'll go through that in a bit. I'm taking, since I was able to come down here, I feel like I want to put something there. So that's what I'm working on next. I'm thinking maybe this nice beautiful glittery thing, and I decided I'm going to place it like that, and then I cut it again, and I'm going to place a little small one both ways like that. I like that look. Leaving this because this is the main part, and actually I have not glued it all the way down yet because I knew that I might be placing something there. So that's what I mean by a little bit of glue. You go back later and place it up there. I wanted this, this applique to be my main. So every time anything like here gets close, I move it up. You can see the edges are up, and then I place this on top of it. And I didn't really need to do that much this time, but over here maybe it needs a little. And if I wanted to place something else underneath, I do that. So this is what I'm doing here now. I think I want this one. Go ahead and decided to make it like that, kind of symmetrical. So this is the rest that at the end you decide if it needs more, doesn't need more, if you want more. A lot of times it doesn't need it, but you want it. So that's also an option. And I'm showing you different ways of using something. And that's what when I got this glitter, these little wedding type trim, I saw the potential in it. I just hadn't had a lot of time to show it to you, but I do have it in my shop, and you can see how versatile it is. And I know this is going to stay here now, so let's glue that down to the center. And I am not completely symmetrical. Over here, I could tell I was symmetrical. I could see like a little more space, less space on this side, and you can, maybe you can do it better, but this is how I do it. So then the other thing that I gave you are these, and these, the same, I've actually done it for this one, is the same as the other. You want to put a little bit of glue along the back, just so when you separate them, you don't have the chance of losing these. But it's a, excuse all the glue, it's a little sequin. It has little sequins with seed beads and a little pink pearl on it. And I use this strategically around different places where I wanted to highlight, so you can, like, if you could put it there if you want. That would look cute. But I'm not sure if I would want 3. Sometimes a lot can be of the same thing can be too much. And sometimes I use my eye to figure that out, but I also, so you'll get about 8 of these little things, so you can use these in any way you wish. I only have a limited quantity on these. I found them, and if I could find them again, I'd do that, but they had it one time at the warehouse, and I'm like, ooh, I want that, and never again. So these are decisions you make. You decide, where do I want this, or do I want it at all? And this, all this does is add just a little more pink. Sometimes I would choose spaces that don't look completely finished, like I had a plan to put it here, but you don't have to put this here. You can put some more of this, as you can see. So I can decide that by kind of I put them side by side, and I make my decisions. Okay, I began with the butterflies. I decided, oh, maybe the butterflies would look good there, and I do like them there. You can also, you're going to have probably, I don't know, 4 or 5, I don't know how many, but I cut the applique apart, and I just follow the butterfly. Okay. And then I also come here, and the reason I'm doing this is because I like to make them look like they're in flight. I'm sure there's a lot of different butterflies, but these are the ones I have all the time because this is one of the laces I carry in my shop. And actually put an order out for some butterflies because I do like them. So I like to make them look like they're in flight. So this is how I'm doing it. I was trying to refine it for you. So I did the others. What I'm doing is on the bottom section, I'm just going to put a tiny, tiny bit of glue right near that larger wing. Then I'm going to close it up and count so it dries. This is the best way I could find to explain it to you, because that's what I do, is that. And now you have a butterfly with open wings. And once you set it down and glue it, so you don't put too much glue. If you put too much glue, then it will not open up. It'll just stay flat, which is also about way better what butterflies do also. And here, oh, I forgot to tell you about this. Look, this is the center. I decided to use this gold. I do like gold with creams, and then the butter. This I carry this in my shop also, and a lot of the things I carry as dangle embellishments were previously fashion jewelry, and on the butterfly there were 2 holes, one hole here and one hole here, and back here I decided I've been leaving the thing on for the earrings, and then I'm decided to use it and just put it through there and bend it over, and when I place my backing on, basically I'll just put glue over it, and that will let it really stay there in a dangle form. But you don't have to leave it as a dangle. You can just glue it straight down if you want. But that is my decision, so maybe I'll see you back in a little bit. Here she is, just about done. As you can see, I still haven't put the backing on, and you can see that there's color underneath, and you can see that how easy it would be to place. Say if I did want teal, I can place teal behind there, and then maybe pull in some teal flowers instead of all the pinks. And teal, make it more of a teal pink color. So use your imagination when you're creating things. And this one, I made it very different than my previous one. I kind of changed the flowers. I made them a little less flowers, but it still has quite a few on there. Let's see, what are some of the things I did is I added these beads here and some along here. You can see all the flowers. And then along here, I decided to go ahead and try adding a little bit of pink down here. And I decided to just add some pink small satin roses along there. And then there were beads with them. Okay. See that? And it's a beaded, it's actually a beaded trim that I had. I used to carry this in my shop. And it has I have the little satin roses attached to the pink beads. And I pretty much kind of attached one short so that it could be longer. Let's see. So I would have attached this here, and you can see that it would go down. And then I would attach the next one. Something like that. And I just put 3 on there, on each one of the posts. And here, on this side, I decided to put a lot of these little, the appliques, I decided to put them here on the side because I wanted this to be highlighted, the glitter, the beautifulness of this, and then also expanded this wing a little bit more. And it's just something I decided I wanted to do. And it needs to be cleaned up still, but there you go. You can go, I added the butterflies. There's actually 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I decided to put 4 on there. So you can do whatever you wish, and it just looks gorgeous. But now I'm going to turn it around and add, here's that felt heart there. And then if you place this right on top of there, you can see how it changes it so that the pink comes out. Oops, I just burned myself. And so how it all brings this entire thing together. Now, is remember I had cut this ahead of time, so I will go back here and glue this on all the way around to do a final finishing touches on this. And then if you like it open, you can leave it open. You would have to cut around the felt. So this is Liz with Crafty Devotion, and I think that you can figure out how I would glue that. But here is the final effect of my thing. And I will have all of these, everything I used in this kit right here, I will have it in one lot. And I'm going to call it the Butterfly Kit. And I will have a posting where you can choose if you want the background. I will not include the felt. You're going to need to use your own felt. And I will place a link in the description box. This is Liz with Crafty Devotion. I will talk to you next time. I hope you are inspired today. And be sure to comment below with any questions that you, or comments that you have about my beautiful butterfly design.